Welcome back, everybody, and happy Wednesday. Hope you all are enjoying the day so far, and we appreciate you being with us on KXAN News at 4. Now, more of Central Texas has now had its first freeze since last winter, and that impacts actually who will get freeze warnings going forward. KXAN's chief meteorologist, of course, Nick Bannin, is tracking all this. And Nick, talk to us about how much of our area has so far hit that freezing mark.
Yeah, so the majority, but not all. Austin's Camp Mabry still has not, but a majority of Travis County now has dropped down to freezing or below. No freezes yet at Camp Mabry. We average 12 a year. The National Weather Service just earlier today has updated their freeze program season map to show you that all of these counties here have now had more than 50% of the county drop below or down to freezing. That means you will no longer get freeze warnings for the next freeze. Typically, the freeze warnings only come in the anticipation of the first freeze, and if that freeze happens, you no longer get another freeze warning until the following either late fall or early winter. So now all of our 15 counties, with the exception of Fayette County, won't get another freeze warning when we're anticipating a freeze. Of course, we'll still tell you who's going to get down to freezing or below. So we also now know what percentage of each county has had a freeze, either 32 degrees or colder. And of course, our coldest night of the season so far was actually 2 mornings ago when we did have widespread freeze, except not in Austin. We got down to 33. But you can see much of the hill country has had about a 95% or 100% of the county drop down to freezing or below. Travis County, 2/3 of the county have dropped down to freezing, not Austin, but 93% of Williamson County has experienced a freeze already, 91% of Hays County. Even many of our eastern counties have had a freeze across the majority of the county, but yet Fayette County, only 10% of the county has experienced a freeze. So if there are additional freezes, of course there likely will be, and if one is coming for Fayette County, then only Fayette County would get a freeze warning from the National Weather Service and no other areas will. So you will probably wonder in our next freeze, why no freeze warning? Well, this is why. You've already had your first freeze. And of course, most areas, in fact, all areas here locally should have had their first freeze by now, even though many, of course, have not. Here's how it looks from our downtown Austonian weather camera, looking down toward Lady Bird Lake on a sunny yet breezy day, thanks to a cold front that came through earlier this afternoon and in some places late morning. The fronts come through, the chilly air is blowing in, but the sun still allowed us to get into the low 70s, and that's where we still are in Austin. As we go into the night tonight, as the wind comes down in speed, the temperatures will be able to tumble. 50s for many of us by 7 and 8, then 40s overnight, and many of us beginning our morning in the 30s. There could even be some patchy freezes in the hill country tonight, although not expecting that in Austin. And despite being the afternoon after our cold front today, tomorrow's actually going to be still pretty reasonable during the midday and afternoon. Thanks to a southerly breeze returning, we'll still get back into the upper 60s and low 70s. What happens to the wind tonight? Well, still a little breezy through early evening, and then the wind gusts start to settle down to 10 miles per hour or less overnight into tomorrow morning, which is what's going to allow the temperatures to drop. Skies are mostly clear. We can see some distant high thin cirrus in the southern sky. The rest of the night tonight staying mostly clear, which is part of the reason it's going to be a cold night. Clear skies, fading wind allow temperatures to drop. Through the day on your Thursday, full sunshine just about all day long. And then what changes Friday is the humidity starts to pick up, and that's going to show itself in the form of some morning low clouds, even a little bit of fog from the metro east. This may take a little time to lift away, but I do expect a lot of sun in the afternoon before the clouds come back again for Saturday morning and probably last a little bit longer. So tonight, clear skies, a bit colder, 40 in Austin, but widespread 30s outside of the city. 69 your high here tomorrow, a sunny, pleasant day as our winds start to come out of the south later in the day. And then we get much warmer here for Friday and Saturday too. 77 Friday looks to be our warmest day. Then a cold front later on Saturday into early Sunday morning knocks us down into the 60s here Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday before we're back in the 70s again on Wednesday. There's even going to be a little more humidity in the air before that Sunday morning cold front comes in as well. Slim rain chance comes on Sunday, slightly higher rain chances on Tuesday of next week, but still rain chances not particularly significant over the next week. Just a lot of ups and downs in the temperature department.